Hello you guys, so today's video is extra special because we are about to hit 100,000 subscribers, and since Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and since many of you guys did come to this channel because of that red velvet cake, I thought what better way to celebrate than to make a different type of red velvet cake. This is so beautiful. We're going to be making everything from scratch today, including a delicious raspberry cream cheese frosting, and I'll also show you how to make a stunning heart design on top without using a template. It's going to be so good, guys. That being said, let's get started and let's make this. Okay, so we're going to make the frosting first, since this is probably what takes the longest to make, but do not let that intimidate you. It's actually super simple to make. So into my saucepan, I've added raspberries, sugar, and lemon juice. We're basically making raspberry jam, raspberry caramel, what I like to call it. Now you can use store-bought jam, however, trust me, it will not come even close to what we're making here, and this takes only 10 minutes to make. So you're going to put this over low heat, stir, your sugar will dissolve, and your raspberries will start to break down. This will start to bubble, some foam will form. You do want to remove it just so you get a nice shiny final product. And as I said, this needs to cook for about 10 minutes. Keep an eye on it because this can burn easily. If you lift up your spatula and the jam is translucent, it's not ready. You'll know it's ready because it will reduce down, it will thicken slightly, and it will coat your spatula. Turn off your heat, transfer this into a heat-proof safe bowl, strain the seeds. We do not want the seeds in our frosting. And make sure you also scrape the bottom of your sieve. Now, as you can see, this has already thickened up, but it will continue to thicken as it sits in the fridge. So this needs to chill for about 30 minutes. If you want, you can make this ahead of time. Make it a week before. That way, it will literally take you 3 minutes to put together your frosting. Onto the frosting. In my bowl, I have some cold cream cheese, some sugar, and I'm going to add vanilla extract. Now, do not make my traditional cream cheese frosting for this cake. That frosting contains butter. It's a very firm frosting. The cake we're making today is a sponge cake. It really needs a soft and light whipped cream frosting to be able to absorb all the moisture it needs, hence the name sponge cake. So the frosting I'm showing you right now is the one you need for this cake. I'm adding a touch of pink food coloring and my cold heavy cream, and you're going to whip this up again until you get soft, slightly medium peaks. Do not go farther than that. Now this alone is whipped cream cheese frosting. It's delicious. You can use this as is, however, we're making raspberry cream cheese frosting. The jam should have thickened up by now. I'm going to add about 2/3 of the jam. You can add a little more if you want. You can add all of it. It's up to you. Whip again, but make sure you do not over whip your cream. Guys, this raspberry cream is the most heavenly, delicious cream ever. So even if you're not making this cake, please make this frosting sometime. This frosting will be the star of any cake. It is so good. Put this in the fridge and let's make the cake. So to make the hearts, you will need to cream together some butter and sugar just until combined. Add the egg whites and continue mixing until incorporated. Now you can leave this as is and make white hearts. I want to add a touch of food coloring. I want pink hearts, but you can make them any color you like, guys. Lastly, add the flour, mix until combined, and there's your heart batter. You'll need some greased parchment paper or a greased mat, and you want to draw your hearts in the area I'm showing you. So let's say we divide our mat in thirds. You will need to draw your hearts in the first third of your baking sheet. I'm hoping this makes sense, but you will understand this as we go along. You're going to put your batter into a piping bag fitted with the smallest round tip you have, or if you don't have one, just snip a tiny opening in your bag. Usually people like to use a template for this. I personally do not like the super geometric heart design. I think it's so much more beautiful if you do this freehand. I'm making big hearts and small hearts, all different directions. You can make any design you like, guys. Have fun with this. It's going to look beautiful. Okay, so once you've made all your hearts, you're going to put your baking sheets as is in the freezer for about 10 minutes or in the fridge for about 30-40 minutes until they are set. Okay, so onto the cake finally. To my eggs, I'm going to add vanilla and my sugar, and you want to mix this until your eggs double in volume and become a very pale color. Add your food coloring. Please use gel food coloring. If you buy a good quality gel food coloring, you will only need about 1/4 of a teaspoon. And it's crucial you add the food coloring now while you're still mixing the eggs, because once we add the dry ingredients, you really do not want to overmix those. Sift in your dry ingredients, and as I said, be careful to not overmix. Now, I'm not adding buttermilk to this cake. If you want a more traditional red velvet cake, I've already made one, and I'll leave the link for that. You're going to pour this batter onto your frozen or cold hearts. Be careful when you spread the batter. You don't want your hearts to lose their shape. And you're going to bake your cake in a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit for about 10 minutes. Be careful, this does overbake easily. Once it comes out of the oven, you're going to take your spatula and gently release your cake, which should pull away easily since you did grease your mats or parchment paper. Let it cool slightly for about 3 minutes, add some cornstarch, and gently roll up your cake while it's still warm. This is the reason why we drew our hearts in that section of the parchment paper, because when we roll the cake up, that will be the side, the section that's showing. Let this cool completely. Don't worry about those thin sides. We will cut those away. And once it has cooled, you can unroll it and fill your cake with that delicious raspberry filling. Make sure you spread it out evenly. Roll your cake back up. You're going to cover this in plastic wrap, and this needs to chill in the fridge for at least 2 hours. Once it has chilled, you can cut those sides. We don't want those. You can eat those, but we want a nice final presentation. I'm so happy how this cake turned out. Definitely different from your traditional red velvet cake. It is so beautiful. If you want a different take on red velvet, I highly suggest you make this cake. The cake itself is super soft. Sponge cakes absorb all the moisture of the frosting, so this is definitely a moist cake. And that raspberry cream gives this cake a slight fruity tang. It is just so delicious. So yeah, that's how I make my red velvet Swiss roll. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up for me, and please subscribe. I publish a new video every Friday. Be sure to click that bell button so you get notified when I do post a new video. I think we should be reaching 100,000 subscribers by the time this video will go up. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Thank you so much, guys, for all your support throughout these 4 years on YouTube. Thank you to anybody that's ever left a nice comment, a word of kindness. I wanted to thank you. This is my gift to you guys, my love cake, my heart cake, for you guys. And yeah, if you do make this cake, I would love to see your pictures. You can send me your pictures on my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you guys want, guys. I love seeing your pictures. They make me so happy. So please send them to me. Be sure to do the hashtag #endlessgoodies. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Friday. Bye.